of Kali Yuga. Why do the scriptures call them dogs, hogs, camels, and asses? Well, dogs like to eat anything. They have no discrimination. They'll have sex anywhere, even with their own relatives. And hogs, well, in the West, hogs live a very privileged existence, well fed and cared for, but in the villages of the East, the hogs generally are found in the ditch with the sewage, gorging themselves on the waste, human waste, and they enjoy this very much. Camels are known to, well, besides being very stubborn, they eat thorny bushes that cut their tongues, but they don't feel it, so they relish the taste of their own blood. And asses, of course, work very, very hard, hauling heavy loads all day, and the only reward they get is a little bit of grass at the end of the day, grass which is available anywhere. So we see many human beings who also have these qualities. They're simply chasing after sex life, and they'll mate with anyone without any discrimination, or they'll eat anything and everything without considering the source, or how it was prepared, or whether it was offered to God, or whether it's even offerable to God. And then we also see many people who do things that are actually very bad for them, but they relish these things and they revel in them. And then we see so many people who are just working so hard. Why? Just for a few dollars at the end of the day, or a little meal, or a little sense enjoyment of other kinds that they can get anywhere. Even the animals can get sense enjoyment. So why are they working so hard just for something that's available anyway? Because of karma, the enjoyment that we experience in this life is already coming to us. And it will come to us whether we work hard or not. That's a fact. By the law of karma, we're getting so many good things and bad things according to our previous activities. According to our activities in the previous life, we earn suffering and enjoyment in this life. And therefore, whatever is coming to us will come by the law of karma without further endeavor. So the esoteric teaching says that actually we should drop out of the treadmill of fruitive activities and work, and we should simply devote our time and energy to spiritual realization. And enjoyment will come, also suffering will come, because of our past activities. We can't stop that. That's the law of the universe. But we can engage the time and energy that we have in something that will do us good in the future, and that is spiritual life or devotional service. And a person who doesn't do this, a person who continues to pursue material enjoyment, even though actually they won't receive the results of their activities until the next life, is called Purusha Pashu, an animalistic person. Because what is the difference between an animal and a human being, in the full sense of the term? The human being can understand God. The human being can worship God. Human beings have intelligence that allows us to understand things on the spiritual level, but animals do not. Therefore, they're not held responsible for their animalistic activities. But if humans continue to act like animals, then they are held responsible by the law of karma, and they have to take the consequences in this life and in the next. Therefore, one should not behave like an animal. One should behave like a human being and stop sinful activities. Sinful activities are those which cause harm and anxiety to others. And then we should start behaving like a human being and worship God. Worship Vishnu, worship Kṛṣṇa, with transcendental mantras and offerings of properly prepared foodstuffs, decorating the deity in the temple, studying the great works, the classic works of spiritual literature in the Vedas. This is the proper duty of a human being. And if we don't do this duty, then we're like an animal. And the scriptures say dogs, hogs, camels, and asses. Even there was one series of commercials for some cigarettes showing everyone looking like a camel. And we see this. Camels, they're very hard-hearted. Camels, they are meant to travel in the desert in very hot, dry places. And so their hearts become very hard. They have no sympathy, no compassion, no empathy. And so we also see people like this. They have that same look on their face. Why? Because they're not really engaged in spiritual love. They're not opening up their heart to Kṛṣṇa. They're not performing devotional service to God. So they're like camels. Or we see people who are like asses, simply working so hard. Why? Because at the end of the day, they can get a little bit of sense enjoyment. Well, their dog actually gets as much sense enjoyment as they do. Or their cat. They let the cat out at night, and the cat goes and meets with other cats and feasts and parties and has a great time. But if we simply work hard in this human form of life for the same quality of enjoyment that dogs and cats can have, then what is the meaning of human life? How can we even call ourselves human? So we see many people like this, and according to the scriptures, they're not really human beings. They're more or less animalistic. The esoteric teaching calls them humanoids, or animalistic humans. Pashu means animal, and Purusha means person. So Purusha Pashu, animalistic people. Now, we don't say this. Kṛṣṇa says this. So should we be diplomatic and excuse everyone and say, oh no, it's all right. You don't have to follow Bhagavad-gita. You don't have to follow Kṛṣṇa. No, we can't do that. Not with any integrity, not with any honesty. Because, like the verse we quoted right in the beginning, Sarvopadi Vinirmuktam. Bhakti means engaging all our senses in the service of the Lord. Rishikena, Rishikesha Sevanam. Rishikena means the senses. Rishikesha means the master of the senses, Kṛṣṇa. And Sevanam means devotional service. Bhaktir Uchyate. This is said to be bhakti. So when the spirit soul renders service to the Supreme Soul, then automatically one is freed from all material designations, the material ontology that holds us back and keeps us in this material world, and one's senses are purified. That means no more sinful activity. That means no more materialistic activity at all. And this is an important step on our way to rediscovering our perfect body. We hope you've enjoyed this edition of My Perfect Body. This is David Hughes, your host, reminding you to visit us on the web at esotericteaching.org, where you can purchase the complete Esoteric Teaching Introductory Seminar DVD and many CDs of transcendental music and mantras.